Confidence does not come naturally, and I am the live example of it. Being the most anxious girl through most of my teen years, I had never thought of becoming a YouTuber and having hosted 30 plus school and college events. I know it's hard to believe, but this is my reality. Hello there, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, O Kamliye. And in this video, I am going to spill the beans as to how I transitioned from being the most anxious girl in school to actually hosting huge events in school and college. And how can you do the same in just 9 actionable steps to boost your confidence? So let's dive in. Step number 1, recognize the need of change. My journey began when I was in second standard and I actually froze in a mall event and I could not even speak my name in front of 20 pairs of eyes literally staring at me. So, and there were also consecutive events that followed where I could not push myself up onto the stage and actually perform. Even being a kid, I was so underconfident. That is when I realized that this is not something which is going to work for me and I really need to change. So this was my reason for the change, that why I really need to become confident. For you, it could be anything, any single thing, as simple as becoming confident to crack a student council interview, or to just go up and perform in front of a big crowd, or just to speak something, speak your heart out in front of your own class, or just put your thoughts in front of everyone. It could be anything. Your reason could be as simple as anything or as huge as my reasons were also not as big, but for me and for people like me who really know the importance of becoming confident, for them it would definitely be a big reason. So yes, figuring out and realizing your reasons for change is a big task. Any moment in your life could make you realize the space for change. And trust me, a little bit of confidence is not at all bad. And confidence is a skill that looks amazing on anyone's resume. And in fact, it is always great for networking. Step number 2, setting clear goals. As I grew up and I shifted to different schools, I realized that to become the highlight of the whole class and to even get a small amount of respect, you need to have some amount of confidence so that you can represent a small group and actually put your thoughts out there. I used to participate in a number of competitions, and whenever there used to be some sort of an event where I was supposed to speak in front of the class or even speak my heart out in front of a group of 5 to 6 people, that used to be something that really brought me down, and I was not even able to introduce myself in front of a big crowd. This is when I decided that I wanted to become the most desirable student in the class. I wanted to gain respect of my peers and I wanted attention from everyone and I wanted to become famous. Literally, just having decided this pushed me towards exploring my own self into various fields. And I'll let you know how I literally pushed myself to transition from being that anxious girl to actually becoming confident and actually achieving my goals for confidence. Setting clear goals for yourself and to defining the reason why you want to become confident will give you a big push and will give you a huge reason to start your own confidence journey. And it will also add the fuel to your fire of boosting your confidence, and you will get a strong desire to become that one confident version of yourself. Step number 3, analyze yourself and others. I really remember spending a lot of time onto analyzing myself and others. I used to put myself into different situations and react to them in different ways with different people, which gave me the opportunity to analyze that what sort of a behavior do people like and what sort of a behavior they don't like, and what sort of a few things leaves a huge impression onto them. And since the beginning, I had always been a huge preacher of this one quote, that first impression is the last impression. And I took up a number of personality building classes which were actually taught to us while I was in school, while used to have zero periods, and my my own teachers, they used to teach all of us personality building techniques and tricks, which actually helped me gain a lot of things and helped me analyze myself if I was actually on the right track of confidence and what really defines a confident individual. With the help of this, I was able to build my own my own definition of confidence that I would be able to preach for the rest of my life. And you can do this too by analyzing yourself, and this could be as simple as just maintaining a journal where you write about all the situations and all the things that you reacted to in your entire day, and what was your reaction and how did the people you were interacting with react to you. This would help you analyze yourself and the all others, that how are they confident and how you are not confident in a particular situation, and what can you do to actually make yourself confident. Number 4, take small steps. Now that you already know and you have recognized the need of change within yourself, and you have already set your goals of becoming the confident self, and you have also analyzed yourself and others and also created a definition of confidence for yourself, it's now time to start taking small actions towards your confident self, so that you are able to push yourself out there, put yourself outside your bubble, and actually take inspiration from real life situations and help them and make them mold you and use them to your own advantage. Throughout my school life, I found it very difficult to put myself out there and become a part of any school activities or school drama. Though in third and fourth standard, we were actually pushed to take part in one of such school drama activities. And I remember my parents telling me that you were so nervous in front of this whole crowd that you could not even look at anyone, and your eyes were literally dancing like a robot finding us maybe. But that was actually me in third standard. The next time I performed in fourth standard, though I was really very much nervous, my teacher had taught me to look at the walls straight up and not to look at any single human being sitting down there. This one trick actually helped me stay consistent and speak whatever dialogues I was supposed to, and I was able to hide my nervousness and my anxiety in front of this entire huge crowd of around 50 to 100 people. This was one small step that I took. And after fourth standard, I changed my school. I came to an entirely different city. I came to an entirely different school, which was definitely bigger than the one I was studying in already. And this time, the school that I shifted to, it had a huge number of rich people. The crowd was really very advanced, and this city was much better than the city I was living in previously. This made me much more anxious, and I suppressed myself. And for the next 3 years, I did not take part in any activity. Any activity. Even if I tried to, I felt so anxious and I felt so underconfident, and the peers around me made me feel so underconfident about myself that I literally gave up on participating in any activities. That is when my mom pushed me to actually put myself out there and try at least any sort of role. So she was not satisfied with me being on the side roles or just, having a little small amount of act in the entire annual function that used to happen in my school. But taking those small steps actually helped me get over my own stage fear and helped me gain a little bit of confidence on my own self, and helped me build a portfolio of proof that yes, I can do these small things without harming myself or without getting myself into a big trouble. However, it was only in 8th standard that I really put myself out there in front of the entire crowd of my school to speak only 2 lines of a quote in the school assembly. And that was only possible because of my class teacher, who really believed in me and wanted to bring out the best of me and really pushed me to take part in that one school assembly. If it hadn't been for her, I would never have been able to push myself out of my bubble. So it's all about taking those small steps which actually gets you to that one threshold of being called the confident person, even if you still feel nervous while you are on stage. And trust me, even I still do feel nervous whenever I am hosting an event or even giving a presentation in my own class. It's all right, that is a part of life. And if you don't feel nervous, then trust me, you are not a human being. But feeling nervous is not something that you are being called as underconfident. It is entirely all right. Taking small steps is all that matters, and appearing and putting yourself out there is all that matters. So take small steps, even if it is just putting yourself out there on the stage, debating, taking part in debates, going for a dance competition, just performing on your school stage, just speaking something short, which is as short as 2 lines or even 2 paragraphs, will give you the boost and will actually help you build your portfolio of proof that you can actually do it. So it's all about taking those small steps, recognizing those opportunities, and putting yourself out there and taking part in school activities. And even though we feel, and even I felt when I was in school, that school activities are just a waste of time. But trust me, now when I look back, I see that they are the biggest reason that I am here, and they are the ones that have actually helped me build the personality that I have right now. So take your first step today. Step number 5, seek guidance. I cannot stress enough upon this one step, because the more you seek guidance from your elders, the more they will help you recognize the places where you lack at. And if you don't seek guidance, it will be very difficult for you to improve, because you will not know the areas where you need any sort of improvements. And I have already mentioned previously in this video that how my teachers helped me become the confident version of myself, and they give me tips and tricks which actually represented the confident person, and what are the traits and attributes. And trust me, to overcome fear, there are a number of tips and tricks. A few of them that I followed were to look and talk to the walls and not to maintain eye contact with any of the people in audience. That really worked well for me. But eventually, when I grew up, I realized that it is very important to maintain eye contact. And now, at this stage of my life, I actually maintain eye contact. But in the beginning stages, it does not matter at all, because it's all about gaining confidence and putting yourself out there. And obviously, in school, when you are on stage speaking, there might be some hooligans sitting in the crowd who might make you laugh, but you're not supposed to give them any heed. You're not supposed to give them any attention. All that matters to you when you are on your stage is to speak, and you will get confidence from within yourself, because you are on the stage and you are speaking, and you really trust yourself over there. Even if you don't, it's apparently all right. But when you are on a stage, there are a lot of people watching you, and also there are the teachers out there who are watching you when you are in school, or even if you are in your college. So you can reach out to the teacher who you feel can actually guide you, and who has some experience in sort of public speaking. Just reach out to them and ask them where you are going wrong and how can you actually improve. And trust me, they are going to give you immense amount of tips and tricks, and of course hacks, which will make you appear as a much confident individual, and will actually be a big transformatory phase for you. Consistently putting myself out there in front of the whole school crowd actually helped me get used to that one feeling of confidence and get used to speaking on stage. That is when I realized that I had actually overcome my own stage fear. And beginning from the 8th standard, beginning from something as small as speaking in front of the whole school assembly crowd, to actually being the lead dancer in my 10th class annual function, I transitioned heavily. And this all happened only because I was way too much consistent in putting myself out there, and also because I analyzed and reanalyzed myself after every performance that I did. And this was only possible because I was looking at myself from my own perspective and also from the perspective of others, by asking them that what did they think about my perspective, about my performance, what did they think, that what went wrong in my performance and what could be improved. And remember that you don't have to keep the opinions of every single one out there, because there will be a million number of people who would definitely be jealous of you. You don't have to take and keep opinions of everyone. Seek opinions and guidance from the ones who you feel are actually worthy of it and can actually guide you and have some prior experience of it. And this leads us on to step number 6: invent and reinvent yourself. Now that you have already attained your confident version, you would want to invent or reinvent most of your attributes, or just better your own confident self with time. So, you are supposed to seek opportunities that actually help you forget about the past and rebuild your entire identity. This would help you to maintain the confident version of yourself, and this actually helped me to forget all my traumatizing past and become this confident version of myself that you see right now. Throughout my childhood, I have switched through a lot of schools, and after I finished my 10th standard, I shifted to a different school, and I was very much clear about it. Why? Because my high school was only till 10th, and I have to shift to a different school in 11th standard. And this gave me an opportunity to reinvent myself from scratch, because that school was an entirely new place, and I was very much sure enough about the fact that the people in that school do not know about me or about my past and do not know who I was initially. And I felt that my past and people who already know me as a person, or who I was initially and who I am trying to become, and whatever traumatizing or whatever sort of events, bad, good events I've had with those people previously in my school, I had this opportunity to just get rid of all of it and move ahead in my life by reinventing myself and forget who I was initially and come up with an entire different and new identity for myself. You too can do this just the way I did. I did it by manifesting all of it. I did it by visualizing myself and stepping into that one version of myself. I literally used to imagine myself at night, day and night, just thinking about who I will be when I go to my new school. How will I react to certain situations? What will I do, and in what all things I'll take part, how will I interact with my juniors, with my seniors, with my own classmates, with my own teachers. Thinking about every single thing helped me had a clear visualization, and as soon as I entered my new school, I could sense myself stepping into that one confident version, and I held a great first impression in that new school of mine. And trust me, throughout that school of 11th and 12th standard, I was the head girl of the entire school, and I was the NSS team captain. I represented the entire school for that NSS team. I took part in multiple of dance events. I used to be the parade commander. I have taken part in Independence Day parade as the parade commander, and have also taken part in multiple number of college activities and social service activities and leading all of them. So, can you just imagine me transitioning from being the most anxious girl in school to becoming the head girl and the lead captain of the entire NSS school team? Trust me, for me it was something very surprising, but I definitely could see it coming because I was consistently working towards it, and that is something that I really wanted to make it happen. And this gives you your step number 7, which is to visualize the confident version of yourself. As I already mentioned throughout this entire story of me becoming the head girl and the lead captain of my school team, the major chunk of it was only possible because I visualized myself into that confident version. So before you actually put yourself out there in new opportunities, I want you to visualize becoming that one version of yourself and stepping into it, and you just feel how it will make you feel if you are in that one situation. Put yourself into it right now, and this is something scientific because your brain does not know if that situation is just in your mind or if it's actually happening for real. So the power of visualization is something that you can make work for you. Post my 11th standard, my entire 12th standard, and of course, my first semester of college was online because of COVID. And during that 1.5 2 years, I felt that I have lost contact with the confident version of myself because I did not got the opportunities to put myself out there and to explore the confident version of myself, and I was all locked up inside, just focusing on my studies and focusing on cracking my college entrance examination, which I luckily cracked. And as soon as I came to college, I felt the need to rebuilding my confidence, even though I had it somewhere inside me, but my stage fear had returned. Though I was very confident in networking with people, talking to a lot of people around me, but my stage fear had returned. And to get over it, I pushed myself into becoming an executive council of one of the clubs that we have here in college, which is the social service club again. And because I had prior experiences in it, and I was very confident about my own skills in becoming a social service member, and so yes, I became the executive member of it. And also I pushed myself into hosting a number of events here, even though big or small. I even was a host of my own college's Spectrum, which is the annual event. I hosted that event, a few of those events actually. And being persistent and actually recognizing and realizing the opportunity where I can rebuild myself and reanalyze the entire things and come back on track of getting over that stage fear led me to all these opportunities, and to actually putting myself out there in these opportunities and regaining my confidence and getting rid of my stage fear all over again. And this gives you your step number 8, which is to take responsibility, and step number 9, which is to be persistent and patient all together. Taking responsibility of your life gives you the power to actually steer two different situations, and to keep the power in your hands, to keep the remote control of your life in your hands, and actually taking yourself in the right direction. I took charge of my own growth, which enabled me to becoming this self-confident version of myself that you are seeing right now. If I wouldn't have rebuilt myself at different situations, at different areas in my life, if I wouldn't have realized the areas where I was lacking in, and if I wouldn't have spotted the potential areas and opportunities that could help me improve and rebuild myself, I would never have been able to do it. And honestly, if I would have wanted, I would have dropped in the entire hosting and so the entire confident version of myself when I entered college. But I did not want to do that. Again, I wanted to be that one confident version of myself that I always was in school. And only because I had lost all my confidence of speaking on the stage, and also because my own confidence, my self-confidence was destroyed while I was at home during COVID for 2 years. I felt the need of rebuilding myself and getting rid of my own stage fear, which pushed me to becoming this version of myself and taking part in a number of school and college events and hosting them as an anchor. So I took the responsibility of my life. I took the charge in my hand. I kept the power, the remote control to myself and steered myself in the right direction. And to do all of this, something that really helped me achieve it was my persistence and my patience, which helped me reach where I am today. If I would have been very impatient about it, that no, I'm not able to do it, the things are taking too much time, well, then you won't be able to achieve what you want in life. Patience and persistence is something that is the key towards achieving that one confidence, because confidence comes slowly, and my love, Rome was not built in a day. Good things always take time, and you just need to trust the process, because your good thing, which is your confident version, is coming. Just have faith in yourself and trust the process. With this, we have come to the end of today's video. If you found it helpful, don't forget to tell me in the comment section below, or you can just shoot me a DM on any of my social media platforms, which are again linked down below in the description. Do let me know your own confidence journey, and if you have actually set any confidence goals for yourself, or you have just recognized the need for change in yourself. Do let me know at which stage of confidence you are in your life, and how much of this video you are executing in your own life. Well, this was all about today's video, and I will see you in my next one. I really appreciate you watching it till the last. And yes, I'll see you in my next one. Bye.
One of us seems to circle the other, and as you go, you remain a stranger to me.